So one requirement for this project is your strips have to be tapered. And when I say the word tapered, think about when you get your hair cut. So when you're going to the barber shop and you're asking for a taper, you're only asking for the sides to be cut. They're leaving the top. So just like when you're getting the taper in your hair, you're only cutting the sides, leaving the top. When you taper, you'll have different color variations all throughout your bead, and that's what we're looking for. Because these are African style beads, and when you see those beads, they're colorful. Mine, personally, I like earth tones, so I kept mine earth tones. And then, so what we're going to do now is, my scissors are gone, so I'm going to grab a different pair. I'm going to borrow your scissors, go on, sir. Thank you.
Should I start today, y'all?
Hey, Treasure. Thank you. Alright, so when we're tapering, not in the middle, go ahead and guesstimate a little above the middle. I'm going to start my cut all the way to the top. Make a point. Like I said, when I'm tapering, I'm only getting the sides off. I'm not cutting the top. The top is where my point is going to meet. And this is your tapered strip that you're going to have. Once you have that, remember we're rolling all the way to the top. Make sure you're pinching while you're going up, because we don't want our beads too thick. And it does take a minute, so I apologize about my speed. Once you have that very edge, so for those of you that weren't here when we did this, go ahead and grab your glue. Glue on the edge. As you're rolling, you might want to glue as you roll, just so it doesn't come undone. Once you do that, you have different color variations throughout your bead, and that's through tapering. So everybody should be tapering their strip. Yep, just like that. So we can have different color variations. And then now I'm going to show you different types of cuts that we can do. So go ahead and take a look at the board. These different variations have a 1-inch space on the bottom that you're not touching. So right here, I left a 1-inch space where I began my cut, and I cut it into almost a right triangle going all the way up. When you do that, like I said right here, leaving 1-inch space, you can use your ruler if you want to be extra precise. From your 1-inch space, you go up, cut all the way to the corner. Make a right triangle. Once you do that, you'll get a bead that almost looks like a vase. So you can see the different types of shape compared to the one that you tapered. And then for this one right here, I'm going to ask again for at least, let's say, 96% of eyes on me. Thank you, class. All right. So this one is harder, but we can do hard things. Like I said, these are all choice options. These aren't things that you have to do, but if you're interested in having different shaped beads on your bracelet, take a look up here. This one right here was harder to roll. Like I said, you're leaving a 1-inch space, but this one right here, all you're doing is, another one right here. From the top of your strip, you're going to cut right on the corner, go down towards the middle, again on the other side, right on the corner, right towards the middle, where your cuts meet, and you have this little V-shaped strip. I say this one's a little harder because you have to glue while you roll. So as I'm rolling, because it does come undone once you get to this little part right here. Okay, so right when I get to this corner V, I'm going to add glue. Roll up. And this is the part where when I keep rolling, sometimes this strip will go skewed to the side, and that's not what I want. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm rolling, add more glue. And the cool thing about this bead right here is you get sort of a convex shape that I'll show you after I'm done rolling. So I'm using basically 5 fingers right now, holding these two up while I roll, because they do go off to the side. And I don't want that. This one's really tedious. So I'm going to keep going up. It's already going to the side. But like I said, all of these are just choice based. The only one that you are required to do is the tapered one. So if you have straight strips, make sure that you're tapering them. So then this one right here, you'd essentially get a concaved bead right down the middle. And the very last one that we have is this one that kind of looks like a rolling pin, which I think this one is pretty cool. Like a scroll, yeah. So the way to achieve that is, again, leave a 1-inch space where you're not cutting. Right on my 1 inch. Like I said, if you want to be extra precise, you can use the ruler that you have. 1 inch. I'm going to make a diagonal line going inward. Small strip. From then on, cut all the way up. And basically making my strip skinnier. And honestly, this is probably one of my favorite beads, only because it does look like a scroll. Same thing on the other side. Diagonal line going in. Go up. Skinny. I might have made this a little too skinny, but that's alright. Going all the way up. And then, like I said, this video is going on Teams. So if you want to add a different type of bead onto your bracelet, or if you want to go ahead and start a whole new one, go ahead and watch that video. And remember, when you're rolling, that you're pinching while you're rolling. Make sure that you're pinching while you're rolling. Going all the way up. And my roll's already forming. Or my scroll, sorry. You might have trouble where it unravels, but like I said, when you do, roll it up, add some glue. Keep going. Like I said, this is tedious work, and we are expecting about 36 beads. So I do appreciate those of you that are working. Throughout the class time that we give. And there's a little scroll. I might need to add more glue, but essentially that's what the bead comes out to look like. And then for those of you that are having trouble where your beads are a little too thick, we do have these sticks right here. And essentially these sticks, you place them at the bottom, you roll your paper on it, and it just makes your bead a little thinner. Yeah, you can have mine after. Thank you for asking.
There should be some on the tables.
Yeah, some of your bins have sticks in them, but if you don't have them, when I'm done, I can go ahead and pass those out to you. So this essentially is going to make your bead a little thinner, but be mindful you don't want it too thin because we are going to have some wire go through it to make your bracelet. But these sticks right here, for those of you that are having trouble making them thin, we're going to use that. And then it just helps you go all the way up. And we are seeing a lot of strips that are not tapered, so if your strips are not tapered, make sure you just cut those, make them pointed at the top, glue it, and you're all set. So then there you have your bead that was rolled by a stick, nice and thin. And then one last thing. See if I can find my bead. Alright, so for those of you that want a thicker bead in the center, just like this one right here, to have a bead that looks like this, where it's a little wider in the center, what you can do from the strips that you have when you tapered, all you're going to do is roll it right in the center of the bead that you have, and it's going to make it thicker in the middle. It's also a good way to get color throughout your bead. If you're lacking some and you want to spread more throughout the center, it'll essentially just make your bead thicker in the middle. I went a little too far, but I'm still going to get the same effect. There you go.